What's up, everyone? Stwida here, coming at you with another Black Desert video. I guess it's like the first one here in a while, but two things. I wanted to do a review of Honglims Post-Nerf. They pretty much got their HP reduced 20 to 30% across the board. I also wanted to do a simple Dosa rotation guide, so you'll see I put all the results of the grind in the spreadsheet at the end of this if you're not really interested in hearing about it, hearing about the nerf, hearing about the quick little Dosa rotation guide. You can just skip to the end unless you want to watch me grind for an hour, but I like putting the actual grind sessions out there so people know we're not inflating our numbers and whatnot. So let me make sure. Yeah, I'm not already sitting on any loot. I'm not adding, BS numbers here. So let's just get ready. And I also want to do this to represent very mediocre gear, right? Like this is my gear, 921. I'm not even at the soft cap with the cron meal, right? So I'm a little bit under the soft cap for this spot. I will start with frenzy draft, but I'm only going to start the first 15 minutes with it, and then once I've gotten going and the buffs are flowing, that's it, really. So I'm just going to pop my Spirit Stone. I don't like buffs. I'm very casual. I don't like doing the whole elixir rotation thing. I don't even have the ability on my fairy, so there's that. But you'll see, you really don't need it for this spot, at least not with Awakening Dosa. We're going to pull some pretty good numbers here. So let me just pop this real quick. And yeah, let's get going here. So for the rotation, I'm actually just going to show you my skill cooldowns. I hate trying to remember what these are actually called. So you're going to use these in order, and I have them set up here. So I would set up your cooldown slots like this, and you'll notice a trend here. If you're familiar with how Dosa works, he has to use the elements in a specific rotation in order to get all of his bonuses. There's not a lot of flexibility here. The main thing is that you need to use them linearly in this order, right? I happen to have mine set up as fire, wood, water, steel, earth, because that's the rotation I like. Technically, you can do whatever you want, but that's not what I'm going to recommend. I'm going to recommend my rotation. The big thing is that you use your skills in this order. Technically, you could start with earth and then go water, metal, I hate the wood. Is this wood? No, this is wood. You could start with wood, water, metal, earth, fire. You could do water, metal, earth, fire, wood, as long as you use them in that order. And the reason I have them stacked like this is because these are the two rotations I'll use. If I have to move into my second rotation, that's what I do. I go left to right, right? Okay, so I have them there so I can see what's available. And for those of you who need to see what's going on here, it's fire spread into wood bend, into water weave, into metal pour, into earth till. And then if you need to continue it to finish off mobs, or if you need to start just a whole second rotation, it's fire blaze into wood stake, into water current, into metal temper, into earth reap. I actually use earth reap to debuff mobs and pull them as well, and you'll see how I do that in this pack. But yeah, that's the rotation. There's not a lot to talk about. You want my skill add-ons? There they are. It's all very straightforward. Copy paste these, and I basically just keep all my different buffs up at all times. But without further ado, we ate our simple cron meal. Let's go over here. Let's get our body enhancement, and then let's get our we'll do Blessing Valor. Get that. And we'll do Adventurer's Luck. Get that. And now we are ready to go. Turn that scroll on. Get those pets moving, and this is with Agris. Oh, I didn't pop my draft. We can do that. There's the draft. I do sometimes mix in the E just as filler. And now here you'll see I'll use the earth ability to kind of debuff everybody and pull them towards me. And then you go into it. But you can see I sometimes don't even get through my full rotation. Like my full top level of skills, you could say. Sometimes they just die before I can even get there. And that is below the cap. This is all below the cap. Look at this. It's ridiculous. It's fantastic. Pop a Z buff. My general rule of thumb, just pop your Z buff anytime you have it. Holy crap. Why is he not using that ability? That was interesting. Look at that. I didn't even get to metal on that one. That's insane. My crystals are terrible. I don't even have rebellious spirit crystals. This is insane. Didn't get to Earth that time. I've actually been away from the game for a minute, and I came back and I started with Dosa just because it was one of the newer ones. Wukong is technically the newest, but it didn't really appeal to me. And so I said, well, I don't have a Dosa, I'll play Dosa. And Dosa's very strong, and that's all fine and dandy. I've been trying other classes just to get a feel, see if there's something else I like more. And while there definitely are other classes that play differently, right, like more actively, they keep me a little bit more engaged, Dosa's so easy. Dosa is so straightforward and chill. Right now, between Dosa's strength and how chill it is to be this strong, I'm really struggling to find something that I enjoy playing that isn't Dosa, where I don't also feel like I'm just sacrificing a ton. Deadeye was fun, but Deadeye is so squishy compared to Dosa, and I need to try harder with the rotation, like more APMs, more abilities. And don't get me wrong, I get it. Like, Dosa is crazy straightforward, especially because just the nature of the kit. Like, to really be effective, you have to use his abilities in order. And I say to really be effective, but they designed him this way. You kind of don't have a choice, because I'm not going to screw up my rotation on purpose just to show you, but take my word for it. Dosa sucks, Awakening Dosa, if you aren't going through your elemental rotation. If you're not taking advantage of the bonuses that you get from using the different elements in order, it is so much less damage. So much less damage. So you don't really have a choice. Like, you kind of just have to use abilities in this order. Some people will say that's boring, I don't like it, there's not enough flexibility. I don't know. For me, it's just like, it's so simple and it's so straightforward that you never really have to think a whole lot about what you're doing. If you want a super chill grind, it's Dosa, man. It's Dosa. I went back to my Lan. I went back to my Sage. I went back to Hashashin. I went to Corsair. I haven't tried Megu yet, but just from everything that I hear, Megu seems like a less good Dosa mid-game. So I don't know. She kind of feels like Dosa to me in the sense that they both just have giant circular AoEs, and I imagine that they feel like they kind of play the same way. So I'm not really too interested in testing Megu, because I feel like it's just going to be like Dosa V2, if not weaker, right? So... but yeah, I've been trying to switch it up, but I genuinely feel like all the other classes that I've tried are so far behind Dosa in terms of damage output that I can't even justify playing them for fun. Like, they're that far behind. They might be a little bit more engaging, but I lose so much trash per hour that I can't justify it. It's pretty crazy. Let's pop our E buff. It's not even E, it's just a quick slot, but we're calling it an E buff. And you can see even the boss here, like, yeah, I just start going through my second rotation, but he still dies in less than a full skill rotation. And again, look at my skill cooldowns. I'm just going left to right. If you ever have a question or, you know, something that you're thinking about here, don't think about it. Just look left to right. Just remember your skills and go left to right. It's insane. Absolutely insane. And you can kind of see in the middle, right? I use my E to reposition. I use my my shift left and right to reposition. It's nothing crazy. Don't take hits that you don't need to take, obviously. It can be a little annoying when sometimes the mobs here, they're weird with their spawns. They take a while to spawn. And I can't quite tell what causes that. I don't know if it's just the spot or if it's something that I'm doing occasionally. But sometimes it just feels like I'm sitting here for ages waiting for the last mob to spawn. I also always feel like the sharpshooter, he shows up wherever you're not looking. That could just be bias. But I feel like every single time there's a sharpshooter, I'm looking around and I'm like, where the hell is the sharpshooter? And he's just wherever my camera is not facing. But yeah, Dosa, all these buffs, man. Like I said, rotating your elements, not only does it do damage, but it gives you other kind of various buffs. DP, health, all this stuff. And you're just so tanky. You're so tanky and you do so much damage. And I can't say that there's skill to it. I mean, technically, I guess there's air quotes skill to everything in a game, but it's literally just use your abilities in order. And that's kind of what makes Dosa a low skill cap class, right? Because at least for Awakening, I'll say Awakening, because he's balanced around using his skills in this order. The game wants you to do that. The game doesn't want you to be flexible. But because of that, your optimal rotation is always extremely obvious. Like, there is no other optimal rotation that involves you, say, not taking advantage of one of the elements. Like, you must take advantage of every element that you possibly can to get the most out of the class. That's it. And there are only a few ways to do that in terms of rearranging the skills on your skill bar. You have 5 elements. You have one ability for each element 2 times. And so there's a very limited number of abilities that you can use in that specific order. So makes it easy, in my opinion. And this is where you just kind of chill. This is what makes this spot pretty chill. It's like every 10 minutes you get one of these Gumihos. And you just don't have to do anything for about 60 seconds. And you chill. And right before he goes away, that's typically when... I actually don't think it's on a timer. I'm not an expert here. I don't think it's on a timer. I think he does that attack a certain amount of times. Because I have gone and come back, you know, like a minute later, and he's still here. And he does all of his attacks still, so I don't know what that's all about, but yeah. Like that. How's this one guy here? This is the part where the spawns are kind of weird. Papa Z buff, sure. Oh, we got a crystal. Lovely. I remember I recently came back to the game, right, a couple months ago and started playing again. And, yeah, sure, we'll just do this. I got really excited because I started getting those dim origins of Dark Hunger. I'm like, wow, 500 mil a piece, that's amazing. No. No, there's like 20,000 of them min listed on the marketplace right now, so... They say 500 million, but they're actually nothing because the odds of you actually managing to sell one on the marketplace, wow, that's not the ability I wanted to use, is very low. But now that's the thing. If you ever use the wrong ability, just use the other one on your second kind of cooldown list down there. So if you accidentally use one from the first set of rotation early, just slip in one of the ones from down below. I'm not seeing any misses here. I kind of want to keep an eye out for that because my Deadeye was actually missing. I was seeing my Deadeye missing a bit here. He's going to jump. There it is. Just with Dosa, it's like there's so much protection, and he's so strong. He does so much damage. And again, I'm talking about Awakening, but like... It's balanced. All it is just balanced around using your abilities in the same rotation. And as long as you don't screw it up, you do too much damage. That's it. Hopefully they don't nerf him. He's been out long enough to where I would think they're not just going to randomly nerf him. But who knows? As someone who is very casual, I hear he falls off a little bit late game. But that's we're talking about like super duper meta, right? Like we're talking about a place where you're probably not going to be as a casual player anyways. So I say air quotes, who cares? Right now, based on playing and testing at Honglims like 8 different classes, which I know there's like 40 in this game. But like it's Dosa hands down. It's so easy. So easy. His AoEs are huge. Everything he does, all of his AoEs are massive, and they all do tons of damage. It's insane. And like I said, you saw my gear. It's like nothing special. Absolutely nothing special. The only thing I will say, make sure you finish all of your abilities. Some of them don't drop like that elemental thing unless you complete the entire ability. Like that earth ability that I always use there. If you don't let it hit the second hit, it doesn't drop the little earth bonus thing that you can use to get your elemental bonuses. So just think of that. Like this, that, no bonus. That's the bonus. The second hit is what gives the bonus. There is a way to go through this rotation more quickly by basically like cutting off some of the skills, canceling them, but I find that there's not really a point. Like the water ability, you don't have to use the flow, technically, but you should, because you can see my cooldowns are pretty tight, right? Like by the time this other pack is up, I'm just getting off my cooldowns. I need to use all of those abilities so that my cooldowns are available by the time I get to them again, right? If I start going too quickly, my cooldowns won't be back for the next pack. So there is a method to my madness there. I know I could be canceling some of these skills. I am choosing not to. I probably should have turned my graphics settings down for the sake of making a video, because I know that this is like a seizure and you basically can't see what I'm doing. Boss, yeah. There you go, the boss died in a single rotation. Sometimes if you get enough back attacks there, even the boss dies in a single rotation. Dosa has a few clunky kind of mechanics. One of them is his E. Again, maybe I'm a fool. Sometimes it puts you behind your enemies. Sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes it puts you in front of them. And you will notice it and you will feel it, because when it puts you behind them, you get that back attack damage. Like, it's nice, and you'll see the pack dies more quickly than it normally does. And when it doesn't, obviously the opposite. You don't get the back attack damage, and the pack doesn't die as quickly as it would if you were getting back attack damage. Surprise. It's just annoying to me because it feels inconsistent. I can't really predict when it's going to happen. The only thing I can say that I've noticed is it tends to put you in front of mobs if there is a larger pack. So like this one, of course it sends me behind them when I say it's going to send me in front of them. I've noticed that when there's a bigger pack of mobs, it's almost like the E has some sort of collision. And if there's not enough space to put you behind the mobs, see, like that one, it just dropped me right in the middle. It's almost like if it doesn't have enough space to put you behind them, it won't. And it'll just drop you in front of them instead, because obviously it still is trying to use the ability. But yeah, it's just hard to tell exactly when it's going to happen. Ooh, that one was kind of gnarly. I missed one of my elements in there. The other reason that I like to... Why does he keeps... Maybe I'm moving too fast there. The other reason I like to open with that Earth ability is because the next ability in line with Earth is Fire, and that's what I open with when I reposition on the packs. So it's like, not only are you pulling them by using the Earth ability, but you're setting up a Fire bonus to be procced as soon as you open on them. Right there. So it's like you slip in another elemental bonus at the beginning. Sometimes this can be annoying at Honglims. This is probably my least favorite thing about this spot. When the ranged mobs just refuse to cooperate. And they stay so far away. Somewhere in there is a boss. Yeah, there he is. Okay, so that's the boss. So we've got our third flame there. Hello. One day I'll figure out some sort of hotkey for very quickly dumping loot. Okay, we're in chill mode now for the next minute. But yeah, you can see my buffs they're at the 40-minute mark. So it's pretty consistent. And this is the part where someone's like, no shit, it's designed that way. Feels like a boss comes every 3 minutes, which would make a lot of sense, because Gumiho's here 6 times an hour, like, and it's almost always at the 10-minute mark, exactly at the 10-minute mark. So I'm guessing it's just built that way. I do have Agris on. I feel like I mentioned that at the beginning, but I do have Agris. With the changes to Agris, that's very reasonable, especially if you're a casual player who grinds maybe an hour a day. You will not use, I don't want to say you won't, you will be very, very close to using 20,000 Agris points at Honglims for an hour. I typically consume anywhere from 19,000 to 21,000. Come on, guys, spawn. So yeah, it's very reasonable, in my opinion, to give you a number here with Agris. I didn't used to enjoy doing that. I thought it was disingenuous to give loot numbers with Agris. But with the recent Agris changes where it lasts a lot longer, it's very reasonable to have Agris for an entire grind hour at this point. So if you grind an hour a day, you will basically always have Agris. If you grind more than an hour, I mean, you won't, but I'm sure there are plenty of people who grind more than an hour a day. I don't know how casual they would consider themselves, but like me, if I have a really wide open day and I'm bored, I'll grind 2 hours that day, but I gotta really have like nothing to do around the house. My wife's gotta be bored and she's just like watching TV or something like that, and I say, all right, well, I got nothing better to do. I'll grind. Hello? Gosh, look at that damage. One rotation for the boss. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but just step on the blue flame and you'll see you get a blue flame buff and it gives you like an extra 5 AP or something like that. Just something. Just always make sure you're touching the flame every 30 seconds or so. Make sure you get the extra AP. Yeah, this kind of makes me sad because I've been... I'd say in the past day, I've tried 3 new classes here, and I can't come close to touching the numbers that I get on my Dosa. See, like, this is a really awkward pack. 2 of the ranged mobs were completely opposite of each other. But thankfully, you don't have to kill absolutely everything before the next wave comes. But yeah, my add-ons, I feel like people used to explain add-ons more, but especially since even the add-on change, where there's not like, you don't have an AP buff anymore or anything like that, they're pretty straightforward. I feel comfortable saying just copy and paste them, but generally if you were to look at those add-ons, you would see that they occur in such a way that with the abilities that I use in this rotation, it ensures that the buffs that I have on those add-ons are basically always up. I mean, that's what anyone's going to tell you about their add-ons, right? That's the whole point, is just make sure the buffs that you care about having are always on. That's it. Ugh, such an ugly spread pack. But that's the beauty of Dosa. His AoEs are just ridiculously huge, even when the pack is spread. Look at that. I just hit everybody on the way here. And especially once you have the Z buff going, oh my gosh. If there's ever such a thing as grinding too quickly, this might be it. This is where I really have to start mixing in the E's because you kill so quickly. We'll focus on the boss here. And it's so nice using that earth ability to kind of pull everything, specifically at Honglims, because whenever those sharpshooters spawn, you can just go over to the sharpshooter and then pull everything else from 40 miles away, because this ability's range is ridiculous. This is a nasty pack, but look at that AoE. Basically doesn't matter. There he is, behind me again. I swear to God they know what they're doing with the sharpshooters. And remember, my frenzy draft wore off a while ago. I just use one frenzy draft sometimes to get me going. Honestly, I'm doing it for this video because I feel like it's available to everyone, and most people do use way more consumables than I use. I basically don't use consumables. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't like it. But yeah, simple cron meal, frenzy draft, nothing to think about. I'm going through the second portion of my rotation now. That was a weird kind of spawn. They evaporate. Like, yeah, if you're at an end game spot, you should be skill canceling and whatnot and cycling through your elements more quickly, like not using your flows. But at a spot like this, I mean, there's not really a point. You're not moving that much. You're not trying to cram so much DPS in because a simple rotation just kills everything. So it's not about like, oh, I got to squeeze every drop of efficiency out of this pull. That's weird. That boss is, he's hanging on. Alright, I'll get that, Jeez, I'm chonky. 112. Yes, I don't have a pay-to-win god fairy. There we go. Gumiho. And now we rest. Ugh, come on, man. Spawn. We've got an awkward cadence here. I feel like these are the little things that BDO could do better. Like, just sync it up. Sync it up so that these things spawn more consistently. And sync it up so that every spawn gets killed. Sometimes you'll see they haven't spawned in time to actually die, and it's just this weird, like, right, it looks like it's going to happen now. Yeah. They took too long to spawn. Now we're in this awkward, like, half and half thing. That's why some people are like, oh, it's so chill, the Gumiho spawns. Low-key, I actually feel like the Gumiho is kind of annoying. I would rather it not spawn and just give me a bunch of loot, and I could just carry on grinding the way that I was grinding. Because it's not like this is hard anyways. If anything, Gumiho just throws off my cadence. See, like that, I was right on top of him, and it just didn't put me behind him. Dunno. Oh, 200% Z buff is cracked. I'm almost certain, by the way, not that it really matters that much, but I'm almost certain that Agris does not work on the boss mobs here. So don't worry too much about like saving Agris and popping it just for the boss mobs or anything like that. What really matters is your yellow loot scroll. Oh, there's a sharpshooter. My bad. Yes, that was my neck. I don't know if that's gonna come through on the microphone. So we're about halfway through right now. Looking good, tracking well. Drops could be better. What did we get, like 1 crystal? Maybe 2? Let's see. What are we looking at here? Yeah, we've gotten 1 crystal. Again, confirmation bias. I'm sure it's just what I've experienced. Honglims does feel very inconsistent. I know it's all RNG. The trash loot is at least good and consistent. Obviously, it's trash loot. But it really feels like every time I come here, I walk away with like no crystals or 1 crystal. Or I walk away with like 7. It's kind of insane. I would say I get one of the 1 billion crystals every 3 grind sessions or so. So like every 3 hours. I could be maximizing my item drop buffs more. Maybe. I don't usually use the tent buff. I'm using it here because I think more people will use it. Although, what did I pay 50 million silver for? Because I've only gotten 1 crystal so far. Maybe it's just going to shake out somewhere in the Kaffir stones or something like that. But yeah, that is more Kaffir stones that I'm used to having right about now. But we'll see. It's not over. We'll see where it shakes out in the end. This is a really weird pack. I feel like it double spawned. What are you doing, guy? I usually will save my E-buff for when a boss spawns, just because like I don't really need it any other time. So if it's gonna help, it'll be when a boss spawns. But I mean, you basically just don't need it at all. Oh god, I screwed up my rotation. That's okay. It's okay, they're taking forever to spawn anyhow. A lot of people were just walking by. I was half convinced I was about to get PK'd. Where's the... He's always behind you. It's insane. It's got to be designed that way. The sharpshooter is always behind you. Jeez. It really picks up with the Z buff. You kill them by the time your metal's done. You don't even get to Earth. Look at that. They're almost all dead with water. I have noticed some inconsistencies, like how he just jumped back right there. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but like occasionally I feel like he just kind of does what he wants. Which, you know... I'm probably just a fool, but I don't understand how 99% of the time I'm pressing the right buttons and then all of a sudden it feels like my Dosa is just, he's got a mind of his own. Like, I know my rotation. Same thing with the Same thing with that ability, that earth ability. Sometimes he does this weird thing where he just keeps stepping back, and I don't know what that is, even when it's off of cooldown. Die. There he is. I was waiting for that boss. Felt like it was just taking a little too long. But we are about to be dead nuts at the 20-minute mark, so I guess we're on track, actually. Crap. After this pack, I'm overweight. I will drop my weight, and then I'll pick up that final flame. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there. And let's pick up the final flame. Okay. Might be a good time for reset. Good. I might go out of my way to make like a Dosa Awaken rotation guide, but I mean, it's literally just what I said at the beginning of this video. The only thing that I technically really didn't talk about is like using your shift left and right to kind of reposition. But duh, right? Just reposition. Every class has some sort of reposition ability. And then the E, right? This thing to get behind a mob and just to weave in with your abilities, but just put it wherever you want. Literally put it wherever you want in your rotation. And then one thing I didn't talk about, winged kick. Winged kick. What, is he gone? He's gone already? Forward plus RMB technically gives you a 2% special damage buff. It's not enough here to matter. It's not like it saves you an ability or it makes it go faster. Like in my experience at this gear level, at this AP level, the 2% doesn't make it go meaningfully faster. You don't squeeze any more efficiency out of it. If anything, want to be a real stickler with it. If anything, you lose efficiency from wasting the time of using forward RMB because it's actually a really low damage ability, but it gives you that buff. Much more meaningful at endgame spots where you need every drop of DPS you can get, and that 2% is actually worth it over the course of a full rotation. But here, I mean, seeing as how you don't even get through your entire rotation half the time, 2% doesn't do anything for you. What the heck was that? Pick up that flame, get your AP. I don't know if they give you like more AP if you have more flames. I don't know why it would. It sounds like something that BDO would do. Where's the sharpshooter? Yep, there he is, where I wasn't looking. Oh, this is an ugly pack. Still didn't matter. Nice. And you don't just get that 5 AP bonus for touching the flame the first time. It starts to follow you around after that, but all you have to do is, again, just run into it, and you'll see it's refreshing, the buff. Didn't even need the earth. Darn it. Ooh, that's okay. Oh, that reminds me. I need to pick these up from the other day. Gimme, gimme. Yeah, we'll do that. That was a bad opener, but that's fine. Doesn't matter. Still dead by metal. This is an awkward pack. Very far away from each other. Yeah, again, don't underestimate the usefulness of using the Earth ability to pull. It's nice to get those buffs and debuffs and whatnot, but most importantly, like I said, it drops that kind of elemental bonus for Earth that sets you up to get your bonuses for Fire afterwards. I'm feeling a crystal. I am wrong. This is a really bad hour for crystals, so I'm primarily going to be looking at trash, because we all know how drops go, right? Like, trash is the only thing you can rely on. Does it turn to plus 10? It does get better. With one flame, it's plus 5. With two flames, apparently, it's plus 8. That's funny. I had a feeling that was something Black Desert would do. You just kind of learn the game after a while. Really slow spawn pack. Something I have noticed, I will say, I don't want to catch anyone off guard with it. Even with the infinite mana potion, I do notice my mana getting relatively low at times. So I wouldn't know, because I've only played Dosa while I've had the infinite mana potion, which I won't get on that soapbox right now necessarily, but one of the first things you should do for your account is get your infinite HP and your infinite mana potions. So on one hand, I want to say, oh, well, you know, disclaimer, this might be difficult if you don't have an infinite mana potion or if you're just not using mana potions. But you should go get your infinite potions. So anyhow, I would just say, if you don't have an infinite mana potion and you find that mana becomes an issue, consider switching out some of the skill add-ons for mana recovery. That's it. With every other class I've ever played that has had mana issues, just putting it in an add-on has always been the solution. It ain't sexy, it ain't fun, but it works. Didn't land it. Got just about 10 minutes left. 13, but we'll say 10. Everything's lining up. We've got our third boss here. We're about to be at our fifth boss in 50 minutes. So the whole boss every 10 minutes thing is really holding up. Gumiho is here. Let him do his stomp. Please do your stomp. Great. That goes there. That goes there. Didn't miss too much time there. Ugh. And obviously, again, representative of a more kind of casual... Oh, we got a billion. We got a billion crystal. That's sick. Representative of a casual player. More casual. Obviously, I'm dropping off loot more often. My weight is only 1783. You know, is it one of those things that technically maximizes your silver per hour because you're going back to your mount less to drop off your trash? Yes. Is it really going to break the bank? No. If you're not a top 1% BDO player, don't break the bank. Oh my God, we got 2 crystals there. See, we're catching up now. Sick. Yes, this is a game. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and all the little things that you do compound and add up over time, but don't freak out too much over, oh, I don't have enough weight and I go to my mount 4 times per hour. If I could go to my mount only 2 times per hour, I would save. Don't go down that rabbit hole. That's what... Is it still Pearl Abyss? Didn't they switch developers or something like that? That's what the developers want you to do, is to get obsessed with the efficiency and, oh, I need more weight and I need my auto fishing time reduction. I need this and I need that. Chill out. Chill out. That's all. So I will at least, at the very end of this, when I start plugging it into my spreadsheet, I will show you how new Honglims stacks up against old Honglims. And now when I say old Honglims, I came back after, right around the time of the AP changes. That's when I started actually doing Honglims. So it was actually a lot, I won't say harder, but they were a lot stronger. It was a lot less efficient before. So I am anticipating that my final results here, like, what the heck is that? Why did he jump backwards? I am anticipating that my final results here will be much better than they were previously in terms of trash. Hello? That was weird. But we'll see. Nine minutes left, on track for a clean 6 Gumihos. Really nice. I don't like spots with a lot of variability in terms of like the events. Elvia Orcs to this day is still one of my favorite spots. It's so simple and chill, and you can absolutely blow through once you get an Elvia weapon. But that's a prime example of like a super inconsistent spot with events, right? Like sometimes... See, we got like all of our crystals in the last 20 minutes. That's insane. Sometimes at like Elvia Orcs, for example, it'll take 10 minutes for an Elvia weapon to drop. And it's like, oh my God, what's going on? And sometimes it takes like you kill a single pack and an Elvia weapon drops. It's like, okay, interesting. I have had the event boss spawn like 9 times an hour. I have had the event boss literally not spawn once in a single hour. And actually, at Orcs, it feels specifically more like the boss like never spawns. Very annoying. But I don't like that. I don't like that it never ever spawns, and it feels very inconsistent. Where are you going, my guy? Trying to get away. Where's he at? I feel like I have like a crazy speed buff right now or something. Am I Z buffed? Oh, I guess I'm Z buffed. But yeah, I mean, you see how easy this is. If you've got better gear than me, which is probably the case for quite a few of you, my gosh. I mean, it's only easier and faster. So if you're the kind of person who actually uses buffs, has a buff rotation and whatnot, like food buffs and elixir buffs, obviously everybody should be using add-ons. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but I'll say that. But yeah, this only gets easier if you've got, you know, a Vel's Heart. Oh yeah, I forgot to turn my Spirit Stone on. There you go. Another example of why this is so easy, or how easy this is. Oh yeah, see? It's only +4 with 1 flame. And now... Wow, that's a big pack. What's up with that? And now it's +8. Yep. Forgot I had the mic on. I'm sorry for clearing my throat in your ear. We are just about at the end of the hour. About 4 minutes left. When I do my math, it'll primarily be focused on the trash. I mean, it's very straightforward math at that point, but I'll give you my averages as well for the other drops. I track it all in my spreadsheet, just to give you an idea of what might be reasonable here more often than not. I just don't like, I hate. There's something about this game and its content creator community where everybody inflates their numbers. They won't post a video until they get their craziest hour that they've like ever had in their entire BDO career. And then they're like, yeah, this is what you'll get every hour. No. Some guy makes a video at Honglims where he gets 3 of the billion crystals in a single hour. And he's like, so yeah, you should get about 5 billion silver an hour at Honglims. No. We don't play that game here. Disingenuous garbage. Alright, and we're about to be at our last Gumiho, so let's just do this real quick. We consumed the flame. He's coming up. I'm carrying too much weight. I know. You don't need to tell me twice. Thank you. This is a small thing that I actually do enjoy about this spot, even though I kind of complained about Gumiho earlier. The fact that you get one every 10 minutes, it's really nice and it's really clean, because at around the time that we're at right now, the 60th minute, you get your last Gumiho. And it's like your final couple minutes of grinding. It's like you just get to wind down and zen out and watch Gumiho kill everything before you pack up for your hour. You get one more slot machine on whether or not he's gonna give you a crystal or not. You usually get one final Z buff after he's done killing everything. Yep, see, 2 minutes left. I'll be able to pop this Z buff. Make use of it. And we got one more crystal. Very nice. And then sometimes the black one shows up and you're ready again after that for a 200% Z buff for your final minute. It's great. Given that this is like a stationary spot, your pets almost don't matter. Because it's not like you're not going pack to pack. You don't have to worry about leaving loot on the ground. Might even get another boss before the end of the hour. We still got a minute left. I might be able to crank one out. 60 seconds, we'll pop our 200% Z buff. It's another thing, at the risk of complaining about the other content creators for this game, in line with being disingenuous about loot, you know. Every now and then people seem to oh, let me actually grind for 62 minutes and then say that it was come on. And then say that it was 60 minutes flat. And that might sound ridiculous, but like those 2 minutes matter. In a game like this where like every piece of trash counts for your loot per hour calculation, it matters. So it's cool that we're cramming in one more boss here. 10 seconds left. And that's it. We'll call it. There you go. There's about 9 seconds left on the tent buff. I'd say that's good enough, close enough. Actually, let's bring the pets out and let's feed them before we put them away. Great. So, what are we looking at here? Let's get the Excel out. 36, 428. I don't think that's my best, but we'll see. We did use yellow. We did use Agris. We did not use scroll. What did I just say? 36, 428. So 36, 428, and you can see that's about what I've been getting here. We'll compare these. Do this. Let's do Honglims. I think I've only done Dosa. Yeah, so these are all my recorded hours. This is the most recent one, and then let me plug in my crystals and whatnot. So what did we get? Let's see. Green, teal, purple, big purple. So we got 5 of the regular crystals and 1 of the billion crystals. So let's plug those in. 5 of these. 1 of these. And then what's left? I'm not going to count the dim origins because they don't actually sell. Nah, I didn't get any either way. But Blackstones and Caphras. So 293 and 60. 60 and 293. Okay, so my calculation for this hour, which includes the marketplace tax, assuming that I sell everything that I looted on the marketplace, including trash, would be 1.835 billion. At 36,428 trash per hour, you're looking at about 750 million silver per hour. If we come down here, let me see. This is doing a summon yellow loot scroll only. Yeah, so what I'm doing here is, let me make sure I'm telling you what I'm summing appropriately. Give me blue. Right. Okay. So this is not counting Agris right now. This is only counting a yellow loot scroll. On average, even considering what you get in the marketplace, Honglims is getting me about 900 million per hour with everything in the marketplace and all the trash. That's not including the Agris. If I wanted to include only the sessions where I'm also using Agris, which is more reasonable now, we would be averaging about 1.3 billion per hour. So I don't know. Again, for casual, not that bad. I'd say 36,000 trash per hour is kind of about the max that you're gonna get here. But yeah, that's all I got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you got something out of the data. I think Garmoth has a lot of BS in it every now and then, so I don't like presenting Garmoth. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you all next time.